Hello, everyone, and welcome to Module 2 on covariation. What is covariation? Well, when you learn about covariation, you're going to be exploring how quantities change together. This is a huge concept that you should have been introduced to in your previous math course, and we're going to sort of continue and dive deeper throughout the semester of this sort of notion of quantities changing together. And let's talk a little bit about what sort of learning you're going to be expected to do on your own, and then what you're sort of going to turn in to show that you learned some stuff for this class and get some feedback. So, as you can see, I have Module 2 open up here on my computer, and I wanted to draw your attention to sort of how to work through the module and what you're going to do in each part. So I have some headings built into the modules that give you some instructions about what to do with the subsequent pages. You'll notice the first one, these first few pages are all your opportunity to sort of learn the math. So you're going to work through the following presentation, maybe watch some of the videos. So if you click on that Module 2 covariation link, you're going to be taken to a page that looks like this. And this is going to be pretty typical in several of our modules, and within them then you're going to get like a typical PowerPoint that you might see in a classroom that has some questions, there's some videos, and then like even within them, there's then some answers to the questions. So you're going to work through that sort of at your own pace, maybe attempting some of the problems, thinking about them, can I come up with these answers, trying things out. If you're stuck and you're like, I really don't get what's going on in this PowerPoint, if you click on to the next link in there, you're going to be taken to some videos. Now, these videos aren't necessarily of me. They're of I worked with a bunch of my colleagues to create sort of videos for this whole course. So, in this particular video, you're seeing actually one of our calculus professors talk to you about this notion of covariation. And she actually sort of works through some of the problems that are in your PowerPoint presentation, and you can sort of understand her thinking with those. So if you're a person who likes videos, you might want to sort of start with the video slide and then go back to the PowerPoint. But the goal here being, so you're going to, watch these videos, you're going to work through the presentation, and you're like, okay, great, I've learned the math, what do I do? Well, if you'll notice a sort of few steps down here, it says complete your notes. The notes are going to be sort of your way to show me that you learned something. And so within that, you're basically going to summarize all of your learning into a sort of single sheet of paper. And you're like, not really sure what I need to write down. This is a hugely important skill. It's really going to help you learn the material if you can sort of put it into your own words versus just copying down what I told you to. And to help you, you will notice that there is a note sheet you can use, and I'm going to pull it up right here so you can sort of get a sense of what I might recommend you write down. So I would always recommend title your note sheet. So here I put in Module 2, the topic is covariation, and so then what are some big ideas or concepts that were introduced in this unit? What are some, what does it mean to describe something by amounts of change versus what does it mean to describe something by rates of change? These are sort of like the big overarching ideas, that I should walk away with. Is there any vocabulary or formulas that I need to remember? There aren't any formulas in Module 2, but there might be some vocab words that I want to write down. And then at the bottom is annotated examples. These might be examples you found in the PowerPoint slide or in the videos. And the annotated means you made notes to yourself, sort of tips, sort of tricks, things I need to keep in mind as I solve similar problems. Maybe it wasn't, and maybe you work through the PowerPoint slides and you're like, I didn't see any examples I want to write down. But don't worry. Your learning's more than just working through the PowerPoint presentation and watching some videos. If we go back to our Module 2, you'll notice the all-important practice the math through our check your understandings. Every module, almost every module, I can't say every module, is going to have a check your understanding. And your check your understanding is your opportunity to practice. If you went through the PowerPoint and you're like, I'm good with this, I don't need to practice, then you don't need to do this. This is not an assignment for a grade. In fact, if you go into the Check Your Understanding, what you're going to notice is I have a PDF form of it, I have a Word form of it, so like whichever form you prefer to download. And then there are the solutions. I am not hiding the answers from you. So it is a really, 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 really important to do your CUs. This is the bulk of the practice here. So I would highly recommend, and if you read through the advice of previous 187 students, you would notice they would also recommend that you attempt the CYUs on your own. So print out that PDF, try all the problems, and then go back and open the solutions and go through and go, okay, I didn't really get that one. I'm going to highlight that. Or, yeah, I see what they did there. I totally understand. I'm not going to make that mistake again. So then go back and look at the solutions and sort of see, what do I need to change? And these might be the places you want to go to pull those sort of annotated examples for your note page. And so, you have that one page where you've summed everything up. And the reason why I'm encouraging it to be just one page is then this is a great resource when it comes to sort of prepping for the midterm. I don't have to go through 6 pages in my notebook to understand what I learned in Module 2. I got one sheet here. I go back to this one sheet and I can sum up covariation really quickly. Along with the page of notes, you're also going to turn into me a little bit of a self-reflection, and we're going to reflect every module. And again, like the note summary, this is really helpful when it comes to learning, to do a little bit of did I understand that? What did I struggle with? What questions do I still have? That's the most important part for me. So there are 3 questions you're going to answer this week, or in this module. They'll change a little week to week, so make sure you pay attention to what ones are asked here. So this one's just what made it hard or confusing? Why do you think that was? Did you have a oh, I got it moment? Or if not, because we don't always have those, was there a mistake you made on the CYU that you learned from and you're not going to make it again because you're oh my goodness, I totally now understand the difference between these 2 types of questions. And then last but not least, do you have any questions or concerns still? This is all going to sort of get turned in to sort of prove your learning to me. Summing up sort of the learning you've done so far in this module. Now, there then are 2 assignments within the module that are then going to sort of assess your learning within Module 2. And those are going to be the discussion questions and the module quiz. Now, the discussion boards are going to be primarily student-led. I've broken you guys into slightly smaller groups. This is a large class, and so you're going to be in groups of under 10 students, and you're going to be with them for all of your discussion board posts. So instead of having to read through all 30 responses, you're just going to read through 10. And so there's going to be typically 2 parts to every discussion post, your initial post and then your follow-up post. And I'm going to open up that discussion just so we can take a look at it. So you'll see within the discussion post in this one, we have some questions and you won't see any answers. And you won't see any answers until you reply. And you can't edit your replies once you make them. So don't just post a blank one to see what all your friends wrote. Try something. It's okay if your initial answer is wrong. We all make mistakes and we learn from them. The goal here is to sort of work with your group once you've tried something. I really think on number 2, this would be the correct way to describe the amounts of change, for this first hour. What do you guys think? You're going to have that post, you're going to have that initial attempt, and then this is where the part 2 comes in. So you've done your initial attempt. Okay. You're going to go through and you're going to read through all your classmates and you're going to pick 2 of them and you're going to actually sort of give them some feedback. You're not just going to say, I loved what she said. Good job, bro. That would not be substantial and that would not earn you full points. Instead, you want to sort of maybe follow up. You might go, oh yeah, I really agree, but did you think of this? Or I have a question about your answer. I don't really understand what you meant when you said that. So you're sort of going to directly reply to the concepts and ideas that they're talking about in their initial post. So you're going to have those 2 replies. But in addition to that, you're going to have a chance to reply to your own post. And in that reply, you're going to correct your answers. So maybe now in reading through some of your peers, you're like, I didn't understand how to interpret the point. I think I misunderstood that question initially, but I now understand what it should be. So you're going to reply to your original work and you're going to say, okay, I realized my mistake. Here's what it should have been. Because we want to learn. That's our goal. Our goal is to learn. And so this is your opportunity to show, I've learned from my mistake. I now have a better understanding of it. Grade this answer, please. So it's your opportunity to fix stuff. You obviously can say, I think my answer is all good. But be careful, because if it's not, you're going to lose some extra points because I gave you this opportunity to fix your answer and you didn't fix it. So discussion questions are a huge portion of your grade. So don't just skip doing them. They're 15% of your grade, and they're weighted that much because I am going through and grading them. But I'm waiting till your group is, like, I'm not going to share the right answer with you till after that second discussion post is due. And then maybe I might post a video on your discussion board and be like, did you guys think about blah, 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 blah? Here's how I would have described this. I'm really glad to see what you guys did, and you'll get some feedback from me. The other piece is going to be our sort of weekly, every module, we're going to have a little quiz. It's not going to be long. It's going to be, maximum a few questions. They're typically timed, usually around an hour is what I give you. Sometimes more, depending on how difficult. And partly that time is because your final and midterm will be timed. So I want to make sure you sort of are a little, as we work through the semester, getting used to, I don't have unlimited time to do stuff. I need to be, focused. Now, this isn't a traditional classroom assessment. It's not on Lockdown Browser. It is open notes. I would highly recommend you have that sheet of notes you wrote and turned into me right in front of you as you're working on this. Maybe your CYUs and you're nearby too. You have your graphing calculator. And then you also want a piece of paper to do your work your work for the quiz on. And that's super important because almost every quiz you are going to be submitting your work, or you're going to need to hand draw something, and this is how you're going to do it. In this particular first quiz, just because it's your first quiz, I'm going to let you know, the answer is going to be typed into a text box, and then within that text box, you will be expected to sketch, to take a picture, hand draw a graph, take a picture of it, and embed the picture. And so that's why in the directions you see I've given you some instructions about how to embed an image, because you're going to embed an image within your quiz answers. If you ever run into issues with this, yes, you can email me your work, but it needs to be right after you take your quiz. We're not talking 2 days later. It needs to be immediate. So it's like I turned in my quiz. Oh, shoot, the timer went off and I forgot to upload my PDF. Sasha Garcetta, please accept my work. It's fine. Get it to me right away and we're good to go. No harm, no foul. I will be hand grading all these quizzes. You got to give me at least a week after the due date, and you'll be getting feedback, particularly on your specific answers. So they take me a little bit of time because I do want to give you that specific feedback. Now, we're at the end of the module. Congratulations, you're done with module 2. Oh, but I got these 2 weird things at the bottom. These are sort of built-in checks every unit. The very, very bottom one is a link to the virtual math tutoring that's available here at Chandler Gilbert. So you can take advantage of it. You can have a one-on-one session with a math tutor if you want to meet with someone other than me. And then the one above it is a discussion I've created that will just sort of live and keep popping up every module. And it's a chance where you can sort of ask questions. It could be general questions about the course. It could be questions about the content. It could be even a question about the CYU. Sasha, I don't get, CYU Module 2, Question 3. Can you explain the difference between Part A and Part B? Yes, I can. And you'll notice I'm subscribed to this discussion, so I should get notified right away. And if it's during the week, you can expect an answer probably within 24 hours. Weekends will be a little slower, but these are the type of questions that maybe everyone has. So this is the place where you would want to post them. Versus if you have some personal questions about your grade or other things like that, send me an email message. And that's what you can expect when it comes to your assignments and learning and within Module 2. Happy learning!